Welcome and good morning. It's Mike Ferry, and welcome to week number 4, October 22nd, of our 100 plus thoughts on prospecting lead follow-up. You know, it's interesting because people always seem to have a lot of good excuses as to why they can't do the job they're supposed to do. And my question for each of you is, have you been creating excuses or creating good work habits that are necessary to do virtually 90 days of your job so you can have a great finish to this year and a great start to next year? Remember, we said in week number 1 and week number 2, it's just a matter of developing some habits. And if you're actually now in week 4 and you've been doing the 2 hours of prospecting, 1 hour of previewing, doing 1 hour of good lead follow-up, and if you're tracking your leads and tracking your attempts and tracking your contacts and really tracking every aspect of what we're doing, and you're filling out the documents and you're downloading and you're reviewing, you're making this into an actual job. You're making it into what a professional salesperson is going to do to build a great career. See, if you're doing those kind of things, then everything we're talking about today is going to be a lot of fun and it's going to be enjoyable. It's week number 4. You've probably gotten used to the fact now that I'm going to ask you to do a lot of things that make you somewhat uncomfortable. But remember, being uncomfortable is what causes all of the growth that people have. When you're uncomfortable, you're going to learn, you're going to squirm, you're going to move, you're going to grow. When you're complacent, sitting in one place all the time, nothing's going to happen. So let's look at the next 7 or 8 points on prospecting and lead follow-up. Point number 22, always use a detailed script when you prospect. Hello, a detailed script when you prospect. If you've been downloading the scripts, as we've been asking, you know there are scripts for just listed, just sold, past clients, centers of influence, for sale by owners, expired listings, cold doors, cold telephone, pre-qualifying, listing presentation, handling objections. Watch, you name it, we got a script for you. And why? Because remember the old axiom that knowledge equals confidence and ignorance equals fear? Your confidence will always go up when you know what to say. When you know what to say, you know what to do. It's our ability to develop the confidence in ourselves by using the scripts that are available. Yes, I know the scripts are uncomfortable. I know that you have to practice 30 minutes a day. But if you play professional football, baseball, basketball, tennis, if you're a professional singer, a dancer, actor, an actress, you practice 8, 10, 12 hours a day. We're asking for a lousy 20 to 30 minutes a day. Use a detailed script. Point number 3 ties right in. Role play your scripts daily, but you role play your scripts as if you actually had a prospect on the phone and then close for an appointment. Now, by now, you probably have gotten 3 or 4 role play partners. Hopefully you do. Somebody in your office is participating in this 90-day challenge with you. Maybe you've met somebody at a Mike Ferry seminar that you're role playing with. Maybe you have a couple of accountability partners you're working with. I don't know what the circumstances are, but I will tell you for a fact that if you're going to practice and you're practicing with such intensity that you're actually acting like you're talking to a real prospect, guess what happens? When you actually talk to a prospect, it's easy. I remember reading one of the great books about Michael Jordan. You all know who he is, one of the most famous basketball players of all time. And he always said in his books that the practice that he had was so intense that when he played in the games, they were easy. They were actually fun because the practice was so intense. Well, you're saying, well, Michael Jordan wanted to be the best. So what do you want to be, the worst? Is that your goal? You want to be number 2,510 out of 2,510, for goodness sakes? Only way you become better than you are is through practice. Practice with intensity and practice as if you're working with a real prospect. Number 24, constantly evaluate your market area for areas that have high turnover, then prospect in those areas. Last week we talked about cycles. We talked about the fact that there's times when things are up, times when things are down. Certain neighborhoods, certain areas get hot for 30, 60, 90, 6 months to a year. Do you know what area is hot and what's not? See, why spend all your time prospecting an area where nobody is ever listing their home for sale? Because you're saying to yourself, well, I'm going to break that area. I'm going to break them in. Stop it. Go where the business is. Now, remember, most agents do 3 to 4 transactions per year. In fact, most agents are working hard to do 3 or 4 transactions per year. Spot the people that are doing a couple deals in an area and go it and blitz those areas, because they're not going to do it. Because the reason they're stuck on 3 or 4 transactions a year, they're not doing the things that you're doing right now in week number 4. They quit a long time ago. Point number 25. Memorize, rehearse, and internalize the scripts. The most common complaint I get, well, Mike, I'm not comfortable with your scripts. Well, let me ask you this question. How are your scripts doing? Are you getting 4 or 5 listings a month with your scripts? Oh, that's right, you don't have any scripts. You're out winging it every day. You say what's ever on your mind at the time. You're hoping that you can say something to trigger a response when you're talking to that particular person. Well, if you would memorize, rehearse, and internalize the scripts we give you, then they do become you. See, every one of you is going to say, when do you plan on moving? How long you lived at this address? Where did you folks move from? How'd you happen to pick this area? If you were to move, where would you go next? And when would that be? In a little different tone, with a little different style. Some with a smile, some with a frown. Everybody does it a little differently, but see, when you go ahead and you practice, rehearse, and internalize, the scripts aren't Mike Ferry's, the scripts are yours. Let's make the scripts yours. Because when they're yours, you have a lot more impact, you're a lot more excited, and you can't wait to go do your job. Point number 26, start each prospecting session with an exact goal or purpose in mind. All right, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. It's Tuesday morning. What do you want to accomplish between 9 and noon? Well, Mike, I want to make 25 contacts. Great, who are you going to contact? I'm going to contact 5 past client centers of influence, 5 for sale owners and expired listings, and then about 15 just listed, just sold. Great, you got a goal. Now, you want to do it in 3 hours. Correct. How many leads do you want to have? I want to have 2 good leads by the time I finish at noon. Is that going to make you feel good? It's going to make me feel great. Watch. Start each prospecting session with an exact goal or purpose in mind. Because when you do, guess what happens? You get a better response. And the reason you get a better response is because you have purpose. You have a reason for doing what you're doing. And then those no's you get don't bother you because you know you're closer to the yes that's coming. Point 27. You have to learn all of the ratios on all the things that you want to do to become a great prospector and do great lead follow-up. Are you keeping track of your numbers? Are you filling out the form? Go back to week 1. Did you make what? 30, 50, 75 contacts? How many leads did you generate? Did you get an appointment? Well, Mike, I made 75 contacts, I generated 4 leads, and I got a valid appointment. Well, good. Now we know, based on week 1, every 75 contacts generates an appointment. How many appointments have you gone on? Well, I've actually gone on 3 appointments. It's the best 3 weeks of my life. How many listings did you take? I took 2. All right, now you know that for every 3 appointments, you get 2 contracts signed. See, if you will take the time to treat what you're doing as a real business, you're not a realtor, you're not just some guy in the street with a license, you're a professional salesperson. You happen to be selling real estate. It's a real business. In real business, you track what you do. Watch, we know exactly how many viewers watch Mike Ferry TV each week. We have someplace around 300,000 viewers per year of Mike Ferry TV. I get a breakdown every single week, how many people turned it on, how long the average person watched, and how many completed that segment. I know that every single week. I know exactly what the numbers are. Do you? Because see, then we can adjust my message to keep you watching a little longer, to keep you a little bit more involved. We can adjust the message to get more viewers, because the more viewers, the more people participate. The more they participate, the more they list and sell. The more they list and sell, the more money they make, and the more they want to go to my seminars. I love that when that happens. I know my ratios. Do you know your ratios? And then look at number 28. You need to make a very strong connection between the success that you have and the belief that prospecting is the major factor in that success. You got to connect these 2 things. You got to connect those dots. You have to make that connection. that my success as a professional salesperson is in direct correlation to my ability to prospect every single day. Now, let's be honest. Do you really know anybody doing 50, 75 deals a year that never prospects in real estate? Okay, Mike, you know an REO agent, but that business is gone, you know that. Mike, I know an agent that's spending $10,000 a month on advertising doing 50 deals a year. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about a person that is buying business. We're talking about an agent that goes out and builds a business. That's what you're trying to do. A real estate salesperson. Do you know anybody that's doing 50, 75 deals a year that doesn't prospect? I'll bet you don't. Oh, maybe you've heard of one someplace. There's 1 million agents in the U.S. And you know one? Hello. I can give you the names of thousands that have drawn a line and connected the dots and the correlation between their success and their ability to do their job every single day. Let's do our job at the highest level. So let's review real quickly what we've said this week. Always use a detailed script. Have you noticed by chance that each week I have these papers in my hand, that I'm using a detailed script? Have you caught on yet? Watch. Number 2, role play your scripts daily. Watch. Close for an appointment, just as if you had a real lead and prospect. Number 3, constantly evaluate your market for hot areas. Memorize, rehearse, internalize your scripts. Start every session with a goal in mind. Learn all the ratios and then make a connection between your success and the prospecting you do. Well, the homework today is going to be easy compared to the first 3 weeks. Any day this week that you don't have an appointment, now I know that's going to happen. Okay, you're going to have some days without an appointment. Begin working on buy owners and expired scripts by writing them out, reading them out loud, minimum of 30 minutes a day. If you don't have an appointment, at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock each night this week, spend 30 minutes writing out the buy owner and expired script. Watch, internalize, make it who you are. Write out 30 minutes a day of those scripts, read them out loud, make them who you are. Remember, prospecting and previewing property. Watch, prospect, preview property, follow your schedule. Now next week, I'm going to ask all of you for your October results. Log in, pay attention, get involved, keep doing your job. Have a great finish to a great month in October. See you next week.